Good afternoon. It is Friday, April the 3rd, and some of you may be wondering what happy clothes am I wearing today? Well, I'm wearing my Alaska souvenir jacket. Debbie and I went on vacation to Alaska several years ago, and the state is an incredible testimony to the creative power of God. And so when I wear this jacket, I remember what a marvelous and majestic God that we have. Reminds me of the creation he has made for us, and it assures me that someday all of us will be back out in that creation enjoying it. But it will not be this Sunday. This Sunday is Palm Sunday, which begins Holy Week, which culminates in Easter. It's a very important pilgrimage we make as congregations. And this year we will make it alone. And so I would imagine this Sunday and the week that follows, and certainly on Easter Sunday, we will have a sense of loss. This Sunday, it's typical to read from Luke chapter 19. As he, Jesus, came near and saw the city Jerusalem, he wept over it, saying, "If you, even you, had only recognized on this day the things that make for peace. But now they are hidden from your eyes. Indeed, the days will come upon you when your enemies will set up ramparts around you and surround you and hem you in on every side. They will crush you to the ground, you and your children within you, and they will not leave one stone upon another, because you did not recognize the time of your visitation from God." Jesus has made his way up the side of the Mount of Olives, and the crowd is shouting, "Hallelujah, hallelujah, blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord." And then as Jesus gets to the top of the mount, and for the first time he can see the city, the sound of the crowd breaks off raggedly, and Luke brings the camera in close to Jesus. And what we hear is weeping. Jesus is crying. His tears glisten in the sunlight, and the ground beneath him is damp with the tears of God. And in this moment we stand on holy ground. Jesus looks down at the city, and perhaps he sees the sun glistening on the dome of the temple. He sees all the business and the crowds that are typical of Passover week. In a Reagan-esque sort of way, it is morning in Jerusalem. And yet Jesus knows what waits in the wings of that city that week. By Friday, the crowd will be crying, "Crucify him, crucify him." Some people have called this Passion Sunday instead of Palm Sunday, because Jesus looks forward to the Passion. And why does he weep? What do we learn from this? What we learn is that God mourns our sorrows. God grieves our losses. God feels our pain and our disappointments. God has participated in our sickness. God grieves with us. God grieves the brokenness of our lives and our whole world. God grieves COVID-19. And that is why Jesus weeps, because it is all so very broken. And he feels that brokenness in his soul. The writer of Hebrews in chapter 4 writes of this Jesus who weeps over us. "Since then, we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God. Let us hold fast to our confession. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses. But we have one who in every respect has been tested as we are, yet without sin. Let us therefore approach the throne of grace with boldness, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need. What does this mean? This means that through Jesus, God knows what it feels like to be us. Jürgen Moltmann has summed this up in the word solidarity. What that means is that God stands with us, not over us. God stands among us, not a part of us, apart from us. So none of this means that the COVID virus is going to go away by Sunday. It doesn't mean that we're all going to be back together on Palm Sunday. We will be in our homes on Sunday morning, separated from one another, but not separated from God. God sits with us in solidarity in our isolation. And so whether we sit in our living room, we sit in our dining room, we stand in our kitchen, wherever we are on Sunday morning thinking about Palm Sunday, God is with us, because God has wept in Jesus over our world. And so wherever we are standing or sitting or walking on holy ground. This creation is damp with the tears of God. So on Sunday, we will miss one another, but God is there with us. God knows what it feels like to be us. And when COVID-19 is past and we celebrate together, we're back with our families and our neighbors and our friends and our churches, and we're celebrating all of that, God will also participate in that celebration. God will share our joy in that day.